If you've been thinking about growing your pet sitting and dog walking business and bringing on your first team member, this is going to be the video for you. Turkey and I are going to go over everything that you need to do before making your first hire. If you missed our video last week, we started this hiring series by giving you my honest thoughts about the hiring process and talking about whether or not you should be hiring at all. And then be sure to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on the future videos of this series, because over the next few weeks I'm going to be posting videos all about the entire hiring and onboarding process. If you don't know, I'm Doug the Dog Guy. I'm the owner and founder of Bad to the Bone Pet Care. We're an award-winning team of pet sitters and dog walkers servicing Northeast and Central Florida. My team currently consists of 22 employees, but I started with independent contractors 9 years ago and eventually transitioned my team to full employee status. And in that 9 years, I have hired and managed over 100 different pet sitters and dog walkers. So even though I'm not claiming to know all of the labor laws or be a hiring expert, I do think it's safe to say that I have a decent amount of experience with this. One of the things that I mentioned in last week's video is the importance of having a good, solid foundation built for your business and knowing all of the basic labor laws for your area before you even think about making your first hire. And just to give you a couple quick examples of what I'm talking about here, a good solid foundation would look something like having a decent amount of recurring, regular clients that have all signed a good contract that both protects your business and them. And then you should also have a good steady stream of new clients coming into your business. You also should have written out all of your systems and procedures for all of the recurring tasks in your business. Just for example, what to do at a drop-in visit or how to handle an emergency. And you should also be using some kind of software or at least have some kind of system in place for keeping track of all of your data and information and just staying organized overall. I would really recommend using Time to Pet, because not only will it allow you to consolidate invoicing and scheduling and keep track of all of your notes and information all in one place, but it will also allow you to GPS track and time all of your visits, which will be super beneficial when you start bringing on team members. And then on the labor law side of things, I'm not saying that you need to become an expert and know everything, but you at least need to know what is required of you as an employer to your employees. And this is going to vary a lot from area to area. States like Florida are going to be way more relaxed and have a lot less rules than places like California or New York. And just to give you a couple brief examples of what I'm talking about with these labor laws, I'm talking about the minimum wage for your area, overtime laws. Places like California, if you work more than 8 hours in a day, you are required to pay overtime. But places like Florida, you're not required to pay overtime until you work at least 40 hours for the pay period. And then you also have things like whether or not you're required to reimburse for mileage, how you're going to handle time off and sick leave. There's all kinds of stuff that goes into this that I could talk about all day long. But just do your research on the laws for your local area and maybe even call your state's Department of Labor and have them walk you through all of this. Something else to think about on the labor law side of things is the difference between independent contractors and employees and how your state interprets those laws. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I did start my business with independent contractors and then I transitioned to employees, and that is a whole strategy in and of itself, and it is not what I would recommend doing. I would absolutely recommend that you start with employees, no matter how your state may or may not interpret these laws. And I will be creating an entire other video talking about this that will be coming out in the next couple of weeks. After you have a good foundation built for your business and you're comfortable with the legal side of things, Then you need to get set up with a payroll company and get workers' compensation, and you need to get an employee handbook. I use and personally recommend Gusto for payroll. One of my favorite things about Gusto is that they can actually handle all of the new employee onboarding paperwork for you, and they submit it to the state and federal government. And if you use a payroll company that does not do that for you, then it will be up to you to make sure that you're getting all of the proper forms filled out and that make sure that you are submitting them to the right places. And I'm talking about like the W-4 and the I-9 and things like that. And I also get my workers' compensation directly through Gusto, so that makes it super seamless and easy for me. Now, and I do have a referral link that you can save a few bucks with Gusto and for Time to Pet. I'll put those links down in the description below. And then to circle back around to the employee handbook, this is super important because it is going to dictate your entire relationship with your employees. Not only that, but you need to have this document to be able to protect yourself and protect your business should an employee ever accuse you of wrongfully terminating them or something like that. Now, I could create an entire other video about choosing a payroll company, about how workers' compensation works, and about the employee handbook. I mean, these are big topics that I'm just kind of skimming over. But I will say that your employee handbook is super, super important, and it is going to include anything and everything from how you handle time off requests to how you do scheduling, to what they are allowed to do and not allowed to do within your clients' homes. And like I said, I'm skimming over the surface. This could be a whole other video in and of itself, but you really need to have all of this stuff in place before you even think about making your first hire. And speaking of protecting yourself and protecting your business, should an employee accuse you of wrongfully terminating them, that is something else that your employee handbook will have to include. Your reprimand policy. How will you handle it when employees mess up? Which will happen, take my word for it. Even the best of us make mistakes. And you need to have a way to handle that, and you need to have that in writing. And not only that, but where are you going to do that? Are you going to have write-up slips that you have the employee sign? Are you going to do all of that digitally? There's a lot of different things that could go into that side of things. So now after all of that, we can finally think about what you're actually hiring for and what you have to offer these people. And what I mean by that is, are you hiring for regular weekly help with midday dog walks? Or are you looking for occasional help with weekend pet sitting visits? Or maybe you're just looking for help whenever and wherever you can get it. You know, that may be the case for some of you. And how are you going to schedule these people? Are you going to have them work in hourly shifts? Or are you going to schedule them individual visits and have them work more piecemeal that way? You know, there's a lot that goes into all of that. And then as far as what you have to offer these people, we first think about pay. You know, what can you actually afford to pay these people and still have an adequate profit margin left over? And then after pay, think about the culture that you are trying to build. Think about potential growth opportunities with the future of your business. And think about potential benefits that you could offer these people. For example, you know, I know that we don't have huge profit margins when we're doing this as pet sitting and dog walking businesses, so we're not offering like extravagant benefits or anything, but you might be able to offer them like a membership to Planet Fitness, or maybe you offer them a Costco membership, something like that. You know, I'm just throwing out some ideas here. When you're thinking about how to schedule and pay your potential employees, you really need to look at your own individual business's numbers and calendar, because this is not a one-size-fits-all type of scenario here. For some businesses, it will make more sense to schedule them in hourly shifts and pay them hourly. But for other businesses, it will make more sense to schedule them by the individual visit and pay them in a more piecemeal type of way. You really need to look at your own business and figure out what is going to leave you with the most profit margin and allow you to scale efficiently and effectively while still keeping your clients and your team happy. Now, all of that being said, I will quickly say that I found that it was best for my business to schedule by the individual visit and then pay a flat rate piecemeal type of way instead of doing things hourly. That's just what I found that was best for my business, and I do think that that is what will be best for most pet sitting and dog walking businesses, but not all. If you want help figuring out what is going to be best for your business or help with any of the stuff that I'm talking about, I do offer one-on-one coaching via Zoom. Go to dougthedogguy.co and there's some information about how I do coaching on there, and then there's a sign-up form that you can fill out, and then I will reach out to you via email to schedule a Zoom call. Now, after you have figured out how to pay them, how you're going to do scheduling, you've gotten your employee handbook, you're set up with the payroll system, all of this other stuff that we've been talking about in this video. After all of that, now we can start thinking about what you are actually going to require from these people as far as experience and what you are going to do as far as training them. Some businesses like to hire only people that are already experienced with animals, and if you do that, then you'll probably have to do a little bit less training with them. However, I have found that it's best for my business to hire based off of personality and culture fit instead of experience level, because I can train anyone how to walk a dog properly. I can train anyone on how to clean a litter box, but what I cannot train you on is how to have a bubbly personality or how to have values that are aligned with Bad to the Bones. I can't train you on that. And on that note, be sure to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on the rest of this hiring series. My next video is going to be about the differences between independent contractors and employees, and then the video after that I am going to talk about the actual job ad and application process and things to watch out for throughout that process. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on all that. Check out the links that are in the description of this video, and be sure to sign up on dougthedogguy.co if you would like my help with any of this. And I'm Doug the Dog Guy, and this is Turkey. We are some tired puppies, and we are reminding you to stay positive.